What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. And if you are watching this recording, my name is Josh. I'm just your average average Joe day trader. Wow, it's been a day. It's been a day. What's going on? Let's see who's in the chat. First of all, it's Fuentes. What's up, brother? Ravi. John Palladino, what's going on, guys? Antonio, all right. A lot of Discord members in here tonight. Thank you for being in here. Let's see, we've got about 13 people in here. So drop a comment in. Let us know who you are, where you're from, just so we get an idea of who we are working with tonight and who is here for the live. I got a lot of information to share with you. We've also added a couple things to the screen. You can see we've got up in the top left corner a time remaining. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. We haven't perfected it, but that is to remind us when we get close to the S&P 500 drop at 8 p.m. because I always seem to miss it. And you see we got a clock up top there clicking along to also remind us what time it is, also to help ensure I don't keep you guys here for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, just blabbing and talking. I have a lot of information I want to share with you tonight. And so a lot of good information. Hey, what's going on? Let's see. Hamidasamy. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Give me a thumbs up. Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, John. Oh, I see John Weed is here as well, talking about crypto tanking already. Yeah, so BTC, Bitcoin, and Ethereum are all down. They're down about 3 to 4% right now. I was just looking at that a couple minutes ago. Ravi pointed that out a couple minutes ago in our Discord as I was doing some prep work for this. Let's see, we got about 2 minutes left before we get to see the S&P 500. So I've opened it up on the SPY. I just wanted to share and show everybody, and I talked a little bit about on the video Friday. But listen, the S&P 500's had a nice run up 5 days in a row here. And so I predicted last week that we were going to have a good green Thanksgiving week. All right. And then we were going to see some pullback. What do we got? Oh, man. Jay, what's up, JC? Broncos kick off in a few. Go ahead and hit record on your football games. I was at the Miami Dolphins game today with 2 of my boys and my wife. We got to see the Dolphins win. Fun game, exciting game. So that was fun. I didn't think I was going to be able to get back in here in time because we have some very good friends that had a baby and we were going to do a meal drop for them tonight. And sometimes, you can't just like drop the food at the front door and run. So we thought we might be there for a little while and that this may have been either canceled or delayed, but we're here. We're here tonight. Happy to be here tonight because I do have a lot to share with you. But let's see, we got a minute left on my clock for the S&P 500 for it to actually drop. So we're going to wait and kind of see how that goes. I'm going to switch over to the 15-minute. And I've got to kind of funnel back and forth between the 5 and the 15 and 30 minute to catch it. But I will also tell you that it was a little bit confusing Friday, right? I thought the holiday that we would shut down at 1 o'clock when the New York Stock Exchange shut down Eastern Standard Time. I thought that the market was going to shut down and be closed. I was shocked to see things like APLD and some other stocks we had been playing all day in the Discord. We've been, buying in and out of. We're still going. And it was like, I was done. I was like, oh, good. Let's wipe this week away. And, a lot of us made some pretty good money, pretty decent money. But no. So then I was like, okay, well, it must be going till 8 o'clock. And I'll be honest with you, getting prepared for the weekend, I had already finished my trading day, and in the Discord, we were still talking about a bunch of stuff back and forth. So I didn't pay a lot of attention to the stock. Well, it closed at 1700 hours. It did close at 5 p.m. So when I was in there tonight, looking at some things and yesterday doing some charting, I was like, oh, wow, it closed at 5 o'clock. All right, let's see here. It is 8 o'clock and let's go to 30. Oh man, I knew it. And I was just talking to my brother-in-law on text. And he said somebody had shared with him about the S&P 500 or the market coming down. So we did, in fact, gap down. Matter of fact, the S&P 500 was at 683.59. It dropped by a whole, basically more than $3, and it's still pulling red. So here was what I started saying, and I predicted to you last week, is that we were going to see this super green week for Thanksgiving week. And we're going to have a nice pump in the holidays, low volume on Friday, which we did see. And then into this next week, we're going to see another pullback. And that's what I believe you're seeing tonight with this gap down. Now, is it possible that in this 24-hour trading market now that it will recover and continue on an uptrend? Absolutely, 100%. But what always concerns me is, and I'm going to go more to the 1 hour, is that the gap down, and look, it's actually pulling back up already, but the gap down is at level with basically 2 trading days ago, almost to these levels of support. And so it's there, right? So if we were to go ahead and make a line right here, just for the visual, if I lock a line in place there, that is basically a support and resistance level from the previous trading day. We broke above it on Friday, but okay, this is Wednesday, closed Thursday and Friday. And so now we're back to a pullback to where we were before we went into the Thanksgiving week. So anyway, well, we're going to have to kind of see. We're going to have to keep our eyes on the SPY, keep our eyes on everything else. You know that when the SPY gaps down, so do all the stocks that I love to trade. Let's go to the AJDT best day trade stock list. Tesla is down, right? We're just going to see kind of this pattern of all these reds right now. Not a fun pattern. Not a fun pattern. Not happy to see that. Palantir, you're going to pretty much see everything. Well, look at Palantir drop to 162 as it's fighting back up right now. Intel, which had an incredible day. Not too bad on Intel. It's holding pretty well up top here. SoFi, okay, even SoFi, which is more of a banking industry, doesn't typically get affected by the SPY, is also pulling back down, and that's not the best sign. Now you got to stay positive. Here's what I will tell you as a hey, Paulette. I see Paulette's in the house. Let's see, who am I missing here in the comments? Nope, just Paulette so far. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't really care what the S&P 500 is doing right now, right? It can be gapping down. Now, for my long-term portfolio, for my long-term retirement account, of course, I always could be concerned about anything pulling back in the market. My account's actually down right now, pretty close to, I'd say somewhere about 18,000. I'm still down in one of my retirement accounts that I monitor more closely, which is just shares of stocks, not necessarily ETFs or anything outside of a stock account in my E-Trade and Robinhood accounts. So I'm down, right? I'm down. And if you've been in the market long enough, you don't freak out when the market drops down, because this is not, this is just another page in the book. Several weeks from now, maybe a couple months from now, at worst, you're going to be starting to get to the point where we pull back, where we recover from that. But what I will tell you, and I say it all the time, you can make money in any market condition as a day trader if you learn what we see right here on my SoFi chart. Okay, a resistance level and a support level. All right. If you are trending your stocks with support and resistance levels and you understand these candlestick patterns, then you have nothing to worry about. And if you're in here, I've seen we got about 18 people in here. So what's up, fam? Glad you're here. But if you're in here for the first time, or you're watching this video after it's recorded for the first time, then what I would tell you is in the Discord, we are now providing levels. So the night before, I'm going through different stocks, popular stocks. Okay, I provided to our Discord family last night, Poet, DVLT or DLVT, DVLT, I think is the right one. One of you guys throw it in the comments. I think it's DVLT. We'll go look at it. Obviously APLD, BBAI, right? I'm giving the levels. I am sharing with you where those support and resistance levels are, where the break points are for it to break up or to break down, where do I think it's going to bounce, etc. So that is Discord only though, right? So you've got to join the Discord and be in there with us so you get these levels that I provide to the AJDT family. And we also talk through the different stocks. We're talking through the different plays that we're making. So there's no such thing as live trading for AJDT's family. Just want to make that clear. I've had some people join, and the first thing they ask is, where do I find the live trading? When are you going to tell me my entry and exit points? Okay, I don't believe in doing that because you're not here to shadow me. Yes, we have, right? AJDT fam, throw it in the comments. but we play APLD together probably every day now. And I know that it's funny because several of you, I'll say, okay, everybody, I'm waiting for my entry. I'm waiting to see entry. Still some pullback, waiting for confirmation of entry. And most will respond with, got my finger on the trigger, ready to go. Or it's getting to the point now, which is super awesome. And I super appreciate some of our Discord members are actually calling out, hey, saying, hey, I'm in at 28.52 or I'm in at, 28.51. And, and I'm like, awesome. I'm jumping in with you, so it is awesome. It's fun to have a community behind you that can help you be successful and help you get wealthy together, which is the goal, which is what we want to do. A few things I wanted to share with you. And this is not AJDT best day trade stocks. And we could kind of keep going through this. And if there are specific stocks you want me to chart out for you, then go ahead and throw them in the comments. I think I probably already answered a couple of the usual requests for charting with Poet and DVLT last night with some levels. But APLD, see, these are the levels for the breakout and the bounce. RGTI, wow, look at that monstrous candle on RGTI. QBTS, the quantums, drop down. Just kind of going through these real quick with you. Cypher, SMR, yikes, SMR, oofa. EOSE, okay, EOSE is not open yet, so that's why it looks as nice as it does. UUUU, and I'm going to talk to you about that one in a minute also, not a 24-hour. Let me just pull this open. That is a 24-hour, my bad. QS is 24-hour, also nice. So these are the quantums. Quantums are holding, all right, except for QUBT. That kind of pulled back. NVTS, all right, everybody's following the same trend, okay? ONDS, not a 24-hour stock. Open is not 24 hours. BBI is 24 hours. Look at that beautiful day we had. Whoops, I just pulled that over. We had that beautiful day we had on Friday, which shows how the box strategy works. Okay, we opened the market below this median price, median set for the box strategy, broke through. Of course, this is on a 30-minute, on the 15-minute, okay, broke through it and just continued up. And what I tell you is in my box strategy, if it heads towards the center line and it breaks through this, you can call it an imaginary support resistance level. If it breaks through and you get candle confirmation of it moving, it's going to keep moving usually until it hits here. And then look, it even broke here and started to kind of bounce on it and then broke back up and then came down and it held right here on the top of the box strategy as a support level. And then of course we opened up and now we are back in the box strategy in essence, but at the top end. So yeah, interesting for BBI. SLDP, okay, not 24 hours, and LAES. All right, so here's what I want to share with you very quickly. A couple things I want everybody to consider and think about. But first of all, I have taken several positions in and back in the rare earths, okay? Back in the rare earth sector or area, you could say. I'm going to throw some stocks at you. And it's interesting. I'm never afraid to share with you where I also get some very good information. And that is Market Beat, the YouTube channel Market Beat. I really like their content. They do a very good job doing research. They have several Market Beat analysts that dig pretty deep. It's a lot of the work that I also do for myself, and I don't always get to share it all with you. But Market Beat's very good. They just put a video out today, and it made me laugh because I had just shared with the Discord group last week about rare earths, about getting back in rare earths. Oh, excuse me, guys. Been a long day. So I threw out in the Discord last week about material MP. Okay. I threw NP out there. It's at $62.01 per share. Now, this is not a AJDT best, but let's go to MP real quick. And I should have it right on here. All right, let's go to MP. All right, MP Materials Corporation. Yep, so they're actually, they had a nasty pull down here too in the gap down. So $60.51. But what I would share with you about MP is that they're actually up 297.5% year to date. All right. Now, yes, they did have some pullback. I was in it when it pulled back. Waited, had an opportunity take profit and get out of it. I bought it, somewhere in here, launched it all the way up here to $100.25 a share on the pullback. I took my profit, got out because I saw the trending on the daily. Well, now it's back on an upscale and up course. So MP is one. Their 52-week high was actually $110 per share. So definitely take a look at them. And the thing about MP that I really like is, and you're going to hear if you go watch the Market Beat video, is that there's some good things that the analyst said today. Number one is, they've been making flour to sell to China so that China can make the cake. Well, now they're getting ready soon, very soon, to go online because they're almost ready to go online with their own, facilities. So now instead of just making flour and selling the flour to China, now they're actually going to make their own cakes. So we'll make our own cakes in MP, which is going to boost their value, boost their company, boost their stock price. And I'm excited for that because I think they're going to do very well. So now they'll make the cake. And then USAR is another one I called out. They also called that out, which was pretty exciting. So that's USA Rare Earth. And the thing about USA Rare Earth, and I'm going to go to it and just show it to you real quick here. And we got about 22 people in here, so welcome. Thank you. Drop the comments in there. Make sure I don't, okay, make sure I'm not missing anything. Drop a comment in if there's something you want me to go over while we're together live. But USAR, okay, you can see here, and why did it do that? Let's fix this. And I can see it on my screen, so I'm not getting too crazy. Okay. USAR, you can see, you can call it basically a falling knife, right? I mean, this is just a nasty, just like MP sort of did similar, but this has been a nasty falling knife. But look, it's on the turn now, right? And on the daily, if you know me well enough, you know that I use the MACD. So the MACD line, the orange line, is getting ready to cross over the signal line, which is a very good sign because once the MACD crosses the signal, that confirms and identifies potentially the uptrend that it is, volume is building and it's moving in an uptrend. So we're going to see that potential uptrend here in the next few days. And volume, you can see, or I should say, the negativity of the volume is less and less. So USAR is a good one to keep your eye on. And the biggest thing about USAR that I also like is they have no debt, right? What a great position to be in. They've got about $400 million sitting in cash, no debt. I mean, the analyst tonight said this is like the king position to be in, and I agree 100%. They had a 52-week high of $43.98. 13.45 is where they're at right now. So, a very, very good opportunity. And the analysts rate it with a moderate buy, while MP is also a moderate buy. And then the other one, which several of you have traded with me as a day trader, CRML. CRML made us a bunch of money. I was trying to think of the right word, but made us a bunch of money. Even my engineer who sets all this up for me, which is my 14-year-old son, who's amazing and awesome with computers. He's got his stock account, all right, and he bought CRML, got in CRML, and he doubled his money on CRML. So, I'm going to talk about that, Antonio. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Absolutely. Are you talking platinum for Trading View? Is that what we're talking about, or maybe that's something different? Oh, platinum. Throw the ticker in here if it's a specific stock. I don't really have any suggestions on that, not yet at least. I'll have to do some research for you. All right, CRML's at $8.32. It's up 22.53% year to date. The 52-week high is $32, sitting at $8. And a very, very cool. I used to use all the time Chris Sane saying. Another YouTuber, he would say when there's blood in the streets, it's time to eat. But I heard another one that I love and I'm going to be using all the time. I may even have to try to figure out how to copyright it so nobody else can take credit for it. But you buy when there is blood in the street, even when the blood is your own. Oh man, I love that because, a lot of us are bag holding many different stocks and freaking out about them. Some people totally freaking out where they're selling out and losing a lot of money. I don't recommend you do that. Not financial advice. I recommend if you're in shares, unless it's a company going out of business or going to completely go under, you don't do that. But I recommend you hold tight and wait for the market to turn back up, because usually on a pullback, on a retest, on a market correction, which is what's happening right now, this happens 3 times a year. This is not abnormal. This happens 3 times a year. And I believe once we hit December, we get out of November into December, at some point within a couple weeks, market turns back to a green run up. Maybe not the bull run we were used to, but we're going to get back to a bull run eventually, and it's going to run up. And all that, even though you're playing catch up on several of your stocks, BBAI Army, I know many of you are playing catch up to, get back up to where you were. Not a big deal. Just wait for it. Let me throw a couple other stock tickers out there for you. Take some notes in here, but there's several ETFs that you should take a look at. Why? Yeah, why? Come on, Jason. I'm going to trademark it, man. I love it. I love it. Buy when there is blood in the street, even when the blood is your own. I know he's thinking all kinds of crazy other things, Jay. I get you, bro. I get you. Couple other things. So a few ETFs you should be looking at. I love to play 2Xs, and I love the ETFs. So on the rare earths, REMX, which is the VanEck Rare Earth and Strategic Metals ETF. Take a look at that one. $74.02 right now. They're up year to date, 89.61%. Pretty awesome for that. UUUU is another ticker that I have as an average Joe day trader, best day trade stock. And I can't put the list up on this screen because I don't know how to do that yet. We're going to set up another scene in my Prism Live studio so that we can have a couple other things to pop up, pictures, things like that. ALB is another ETF. SQM is another ETF. Take a look at it. Some of you may not be able to trade this on, depending on what markets you're in, meaning what type of brokerage account you have. That's actually a Chilean ETF. So take a look at that. NEO is another one. So there's just a few to kind of take a look at. Now, none of those are best day trade stocks or things that I would recommend day trading, but they are definitely ones to take a look at for a longer term. All right. I think I mentioned to you that, in the Discord, I'm now providing the levels. So that's something new, but pretty awesome. I can give you some of those levels real quick if you want to chart them. I don't have them charted on my Webull account. I do have them in my TradingView account. And for those of you that had been asking me and talking to me about it, I did bite the bullet over the weekend, and I upped my subscription in TradingView. Now I upped it to the essentials just because there's a few different things I wanted to do in my TradingView account for you, which is, being able to write on the screens and do some different things with patterns. So I did that, but I am strongly considering upgrading to the premium because I found a few other things that I don't still have access to that might be a good thing for me. And so I'm considering that and praying about it, and we'll see, because I don't like to just spend money just to spend money. If it's not going to be beneficial to you as my AJDT family, or even to myself, then it's maybe not worth it. But we'll see. So let me share with you real quick some of these levels. And give me 1 second to pull up my screens here. Hold, please. All right. Okay, so APLD, Applied Digital. You can write these down. For those of you in Discord, you've got full access to these. But the APLD, and these are all short-term intraday levels. This is not for long term. This is for intraday. This is for day trading, maybe swing trading, depending on if it holds within those levels. But APLD, we have a rejection cost per share of $27.30, which would mean that our targets on rejection would be $27, $26.70, $26.40. The breakdown trigger is $26.40, meaning if it hits that $26.40, we get through those three levels, then chances are it's going to hit $26.10, $25.80, $24.40, which is a very strong lower support. Now on the upside, the breakout is for the bull trigger is $27.30. We want to see $27.30 up to $27.60, $27.90, $28.20, and then you have a very high probability of a scalp on the bounce from $25.80 to $26.10, and your bounce targets are $26.40, $26.70, and $27. So mark those down. And I don't think I could share. I don't think I could show you, but this is kind of what it looks like for the Discord group. Let's see. No, it's not going to work because I'm kind of blocking the camera out. Yeah, you're not going to see it on there at all. I'm trying to show you on my phone, so never mind. But that is APLD. Let me give you some levels for POET. POET. Rejection is $5.10. Targets on rejection, $4.95, $4.85, $4.75. And the breakdown bear trigger is $4.75, which will then go $4.65, $4.55, $4.40 with a strong lower support there. Then your breakout, okay, is we want it to bounce. The bounce target or your bounce zone is $4.75 to $4.85, which would bounce it to $4.95, $5.05, $5.10. But we do have breakout levels from $5.10 to $5.25, $5.40, and $5.60. But you want to make sure you're watching for a clean break above $5.10 for the bullish move, or below $4.75 for the bearish momentum. And DVLT, we've got, let's see here, a rejection of $2.25 pushes it to 215, 205, and 195. The bear trigger at 205 causes it to basically go 195, 185, 175. On the upside, we're looking at 225 as your breakout. But the bounce zone probability for a scalp, 205 to 215. Your breakout levels from the 225 would be 215, 225, 235, 240, 255, and 270. But you need a clean break above 225 for a bullish move, and a break below 205 for bearish momentum. And BBAI for my BBAI army, the rejection would be $6.50. Our targets from there would be 630, 610, 590. Of course, a lot of this is for our options players. Breakout bear trigger to 590, which then puts it to 570, 550, and 525. And then your bull trigger is 650. The upside would be where you want to bounce between 590 and 610. But the upside from 650 would be 675, 695, 720. And you want to make sure you have a clean break above 650 or the breakdown below $5.90. So there's a bunch of levels for you. It's a lot cleaner when I put it in the Discord, because I'm actually giving you one screen, one shot of the actual numbers, so you can read it a little bit cleaner. It may be hard to follow on here. And because I didn't have it, charted out on here based on those numbers, I can't show that to you on here. Maybe something I'll consider for the next live if that's what somebody wants. But either way, we are still considering the trading or charting class. I didn't get a huge response. I only got about 4 or 5 people that were interested in the charting class. I know several of the Discord members want it, so we're going to be scheduling to do something and then put it out there. For those that are not Discord members, we are going to charge $25 for the 30-minute session. It'll go longer than 30 minutes, but we're going to give basic beginner charting, get a little bit more into the intermediate and some advanced, where I'll share some strategies. I'm going to talk a little bit about using the Fibonacci for your charting to see levels. Also going to talk about pivots. That's very much more advanced than if you're a beginner, not something that you would need to understand yet, but some things that may help for some of our more advanced subscribers or members that are in there. So we'll get it scheduled and just see what the sign up will be for it. I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet. I know we're going to use Zoom so everybody can be on video and sharing and talking. But I want it to be a safe, clean environment for everybody. So we're going to have to make sure we figure out how to do that. All right. Does anybody want me to talk about anything specific tonight in here? I see we've got about 26 people in here. If you hadn't dropped in the comments, let us know who you are, where you're from. Please do that so I can welcome you. And if you hadn't joined the Discord yet, please go in the description, hit that link for the Discord, and get in there with us. We are having so much fun and building this community from the ground up. And I know that I'm part of some other Discords as well. And, some of them charge $50, $100. One of them charges basically $10,000 for the year, which is, somewhat almost insanity. But here's the thing: ours is $14.99, and depending on how you join, if you join on an Apple phone, if you join on your computer, whatever, sometimes they charge different fees, right? So I have set it at $14.99. One trade in the Discord with us during, with APLD, where you get in and out of APLD while we're trading together, texting back and forth about it, pays for that. And that's, kind of how I look at my other Discords. If I'm getting some call outs in other Discords and I take an options play or I buy into it in and out of a stock, that is something that got called out in one of those Discords, then I've made my money. Okay. Sometimes I've made what it would cost me to pay for this for the year. All right. And so that's how I always look at it. And it's worth it to me because I continue to grow and educate myself. I'm not one of those that's telling you I'm an expert. I'm telling you that I feel very good about what I'm doing with you. We're learning and growing together. I want you to learn and grow with me and be successful. I want people to make money. I want to make money because one day I'm going to be retired and this may be my full-time retirement gig. I may just do this for a few hours every morning trading and just hang in the Discord with you all, as my retirement gig. Right now, I'm still in the corporate America world. And, it is a conversation my wife and I do have about, the future, but we continue to pray. And, no matter what your beliefs are, no matter what religion you follow, no matter, any of those things, for me personally, I trust that God has an amazing plan for my life. And I know he does for each and every one of you. And I'm so thankful for all of you to be here and happy to have you here. And, I just want you to continue to grow alongside me, not behind me, not, where, I'm going to, be that guy that's going to, like Jason, he was one of our Discord members and a subscriber, one of our very first subscribers. Well, I think we were less than 500 subscribers. Jason jumped into the BBAI video. There you go. Williams in the house. What's up, brother? He basically says all the time, we're no nonsense. We're going to grow together. We're going to get wealthy together. We're going to, live together and we're going to get rich together. And if you do things the right way and educate yourself, there's no reason why you cannot make money doing this every single day. Last week in a green week, and even in a red week is not so bad, but last week I did very well with APLD. I averaged, anywhere from $500 to $1,000. Actually, I think I hit almost $1,200 one day. So let's say between $500 and $1,200 each day in APLD, just day trading it for a few hours. What is up? Lynn is here. Santa Claus rally coming. You are right. Yeah, that's Will. Lynn is here from watching from Aspen. What is up, Lynn? So happy to have you here. Another one of our Discord members. Anyway, so, that's enough of the soapbox. Just happy to have an opportunity to learn from you and you learn from me and we grow together. So are there any tickers? Let's see. Platinum. Let me go back up here. Are we talking like gold, silver, platinum? Antonio, is that what you're talking about? I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on that before I answer. But obviously when the stock market's pulling down or coming back, people tend to go to energy stocks and things like gold, silver, etc., because people tend to want to put their money in that as a safe bet to protect it from the different stocks that could potentially just drop out. So let's take a look at the S&P 500 again one more time before we wrap this up. If there's not any specific questions, does anybody want me to show the box strategy again? Drop a comment if you want to see the box strategy again, and I'll do that for you on one of the stocks in here, just so that we can do that together before we shut this one down. All right, the SPY. All right, so the S&P 500 is at 680.02. It did pull back a little bit more and it's coming back. We're still on this 30-minute candle. We just got a new 30-minute candle. It's down here, 680.10. So listen, the MACD line is pushing down. Let's go to the, obviously you can't do anything on the daily yet because we don't have a day yet. But the 4-hour, is down there. So we're going to have to kind of see what happens. Antonio, yeah, got it, brother. We can talk more in the Discord about platinum, Antonio, tomorrow. I'll do a little bit of homework on that tonight just to see about that. All right, let me see. Are there any requests? Anything at all? Let's see. I want to look at APLD with you all real quick. Okay, let's go to APLD. And I just got some weird note on my thing about signal dropping or something. So hopefully you are all still watching it very well. Let's go to APLD. All right, look at this, right? APLD already on a run back up. Already at, and this is the 15-minute, okay? Already a green candle at this 2660 support resistance level. It's right on there. So we'll see what this does. But obviously on the 15-minute looks nice. You go to the 5-minute, it's going to look even better, right? So pulling back upward, not pulling back, it's heading back up. So not bad. Yeah. LLY is one I've been watching and monitoring for an opportunity to get into because of the fact that it's down. It got beat down so badly in the last few days. But look at this amazing green run. And so I've just been waiting for it to continue to pull back a little bit more to get into it. So, all right. Well, let's see. Zircon Daphne in the house. What is up? Thank you for being in here. Appreciate you all so much. Well, if you're brand new here, if this is your first time here and you're watching this video recorded, then hit that subscribe button for me, hit the like button, hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for being here. Also, join the Discord if you get a chance. It says you're going to be experiencing buffering in the channel. I apologize for that. I'm not sure what's going on with the Prism Live studio right now, so I bear with me on that. But for those of you watching it, thank you so much. Hopefully you appreciate this channel like I do and want you all to understand that it's all about making money. Best day trade stock list. Matter of fact, I'll throw this out there. And yes, I will thank Jason for the idea again. 17 of the 21 stocks on our current month's AJDT list are running green from Friday. We'll see what they look like tomorrow in the Monday morning, but excited to see what the market does through the 24-hour overnight market and waiting to see what it does when the market bell opens. For those of you that don't trade with us in the Discord yet, look for potentially the APLD pullback at market bell. Let it shake out, usually anywhere from 5 minutes to 25 minutes is when you will hit the bottom. Look for candlestick confirmation to make your entry, get in, ride it up, hit that top. When you see that red candle or engulfing red candle taking over at the top, sell, get out, put the money in the bank, and call it a day. God bless you. Thank you so much for being here. Excited for everyone that was part of the live tonight. God bless you guys. See you tomorrow. Talk to you tomorrow. Josh out. Peace.